Hey guys, welcome back. This is Man Time. So it's springtime here on the Man Time Ranch, and in springtime we've got to get all of our equipment serviced and ready to go for the summertime. Next thing I've got in line is my John Deere 400. Now a John Deere 400 is an old mower. Mine's I think a 1980 model. It came with the property. It was actually buried above the deck, and I'm going to take you around and show you a few finer points of the 400. I've gone through, serviced it, rebuilt the engine, rebuilt the deck, cleaned out, of course, the fuel and everything to get it running. I'll take you through and show you some of that stuff on it. Alright, so the John Deere 400. I've owned this tractor for 10 years now. Like I said, I've rebuilt everything. This is back when they made tractors to last. You can see here, it's actually got a real hood on it. And even better yet, it's got a real engine. It's got a 1000cc Kohler, twin cylinder, horizontally opposed engine on it. It's got a true keyed ignition. And it runs like a top. I've had to change the starter out on it. That was a chore. Finding one, a chore. It's got the aftermarket tires on it there. I put ATV tires on it when I first got the property here. I was using this thing to haul trees out of the woods with and stuff. It has ATV tires on the front of it. It's got full hydrostatic and hydraulic powered deck, raise and lower. It's got an auxiliary set of hydraulics out of the front, auxiliary set of hydraulics out of the rear. It's got a really neat quick connect system here for the deck, and with a pin you can easily pull the pin out and disconnect the deck. Now there's two other bolts that are also involved with disconnecting the deck, and that is where the raise and lowers, and those are right in here. You can see right there, bolt there, bolt on the other side. And of course all your hydraulics. Now the reason I'm going to take the deck off of here is I've got a hydraulic leak somewhere up in there. I plan on finding it. Thing has a beefy 60-inch deck on it, and I've got a new belt that I want to put on here in preparation for the summertime. The old belt slipped off of there not too long ago, and it's looking pretty worn. Look at how beefy this tractor is, though. It's a lawnmower, you know, but it's got a real actual differential in it. Had to replace out most of the hydraulic lines. You can see a new fitting right there. Of course, it's got power steering, power deck raise and lower. But this thing actually has a frame and a solid steel pan. I mean, this thing looks like a Jeep rear end. It's ridiculous. Yeah, they used to make things a lot nicer back then. Made to last. If they were to try to reproduce this today, I mean, I can't imagine they could do it for maybe $5,000, maybe more. Alright, I'm going to start taking the inspection plate off of the deck. And one thing that I just wanted to share that makes life on the farm or service maintenance so much easier, and I use it at work all the time, it's called point of use tooling. Point of use tooling is having the right tool, right place, right time. And in this case, since I can't have tools kind of where I'm working on the deck, I keep these bags, and I've got two of them. One's SAE and one's metric, but they include ratcheting wrenches, all sizes of ratcheting wrenches. These are Blue Point, a cheaper Snap-on brand, I guess, and they are reversible. And a set of stubby wrenches, ratcheting wrenches. And then this tool floats between the two bags. And then in here I've got a full set of impact sockets. There's the socket I need right there. But this tool is the real star of the show. This one is a DeWalt 12-volt lithium-ion impact wrench with a 3/8 drive. And I've got the corresponding sockets for each tool bag. This one's SAE, the other one's metric. And this just makes life so much easier. I've got a SAE mechanic buddy, and I saw him using one of these to disassemble my Ford diesel engine, and parts were flying off of that thing so fast. He was taking them off, and I was sorting them and organizing them, and I couldn't keep up with this. And all I was doing was sorting the parts coming off. So I had to get one. It is a dream for maintenance work. So let's have a look inside this deck. You can see here we've got our main driven pulleys here. We've got some idler wheels and main driven, and this is where our blade is going to be connected to the end of this one, to the end of this one, and over here the end of that one. And then in here you've got some idler pulleys, and those just keep tension on the belt. You've also got a tensioner chain right here. But look at this gearbox on this thing. It's a cast iron beast. And a drive shaft that looks like it came off the front end of a Jeep. I mean, super beefy. Quick disconnect. Spline shaft connection coming out of the engine. Or I'm sorry, this is actually coming off of a driven shaft that kind of sits below the engine, and that is driven with a 2 V-belt system. So you can see here the belt is worn. All of the fabric that gives the belt a lot of its strength is gone, and we're down to just a ribbon of it in the front. And the back of it there has it, but it's just the rubber core showing everywhere else. I think I need to replace it. So we'll do that. In the meantime here, I'm going to look for this hydraulic leak because, see, I've got a lot of hydraulic fluid, fresh hydraulic fluid, dripping out of here. And it's dripping out of here. Maybe. Yeah, it's gotta be. I don't see anywhere else it can be dripping from. It looks like it's dripping from the top and coming down. Son of a gun. Where the heck could this be dripping from? You know what? I should have brought my safety glasses down here. This is a dumb idea. It has got, I believe, a couple hard lines that connect in the top, but it looks like it's coming down both sides. So let's take off the belly band. Probably gonna have to take the gas tank off too. Yeah. So one thing that I always like to carry with me as I'm doing maintenance on different things is one of these Stylus Pros from Streamlight. Extremely effective, almost 200 lumens. Highly recommended. You can get into tight places with them. Just don't get the black one. Too much gas, and we have found our leak. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of hydraulic fluid coming from right there. But I can't tell exactly where it's coming from. Almost looks like it's just coming out from between the seal here. Could that just be loose? Loosened up somehow? It's just appears to be just leaking from right in between here. Oh boy. This will be fun. Okay, so this, I think I need to take this whole assembly off. Well, this is going to be lots of fun. But I guess it's the price you pay for having something worth working on. You know what, before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and hose all this stuff off. I just realized it's going to be a whole lot easier to work when it's clean. Alright, so let's get back to putting the belt on the mower deck. So I've got the new one. And this is an aftermarket belt. PX 5/8 by 144 B141 K-5L 1440K India. They say that it's Kevlar, and this is actually the one that I'm replacing as well. The John Deere one, they just don't make them quite as sturdy as they used to. So I found that this one is a pretty good substitute. First thing we'll do is to take the tension off of the belt that's on there. I've gone ahead and blown it out, and we'll get the tension off of it. And I think I've got to remove one of those pulleys. Another pro tip, I guess you could say, is to take a picture of the labyrinth of belt in there before you go doing this. I remember the first time when I rebuilt the mower and rebuilt the deck and everything, I had the belt was gone on it, you know, and I pulled it off of there and didn't take a picture of it. And then a week later, when I finally got the belt, I had a heck of a time trying to figure out how to put it back on there. So here we go. Loosen the tensioner, take off a pulley, and change this sucker out. Here I'm going to take a scraper, scrape all the clumped up grass and dried grass off the bottom of the deck, and I'm also going to get in there with a grinder and sharpen all the blades. You really don't need a whole lot of fancy tools to fix up your mower. A 4.5-inch angle grinder will do a whole lot of stuff. I got by with this without a bench grinder for I don't know how many years. I built a tube cage rock buggy, and this was pretty much my main means of fitting everything up. I had a metal chop saw with a composite wheel like this one that I used to cut most of the tubing up, but this helped me do all the fish mouthing and everything else. So you don't need a whole lot to service your equipment. Another thing, you saw me scraping off the bottom of the deck there. That's the only way this deck would have survived. It is imperative to keep the bottom of the deck clean, otherwise moisture will stick to whatever is sticking to the deck, and that'll start the rusting process. So okay, I'll wait for that to dry and then spray it down with PB Blaster as the final step to help not only keep grass and debris from sticking to it, but also to protect it from rust. Alright, so here we are back on top of the deck. As you can see, I've got the new belt on here. And what we're going to do next is just reattach the tensioner. And the tensioner is just this big spring which attaches to a tensioner pulley, and it connects up right over here. So. Alright, so there we have it. Mower deck is serviced, new belt, and cleaned up. All I have to do now is just spray it down with some rust preventative on the underside, and should be good to go all summer.